Hi everyone, my name is Stuart Coulthard. I'm a director at Rubiix Business Accountants, and today I've got a special guest, Neomal Silva. We've run a few of these videos trying to provide some practical tips for small to medium-sized business owners, in addition to the awesome tax advice that Rubiix provides. Neomal is an expert in meditation and he runs his own business in it. So I thought it'd be really practical for business owners to hear a little bit about Neomal. So Neomal, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Stuart. My name's Neomal Silva. I teach a 20-minute meditation technique. It's known as Vedic meditation and provides 2 to 3 times more rest than sleep. I also run workshops for firms on headspace, productivity, procrastination, resilience, all those good things for COVID, right? To counter COVID. My background is I've practiced this kind of meditation, this 20-minute meditation technique known as Vedic meditation for 28 years. But I come from a corporate background, so I have 20 plus years as a management and project consultant with firms like Accenture and Nokia in France and all over Europe, and then here in Australia as well. And I guess what I do now is I teach this technique because it helped me, right? It helped me remain calm and resilient through what was, a very busy corporate career. A lot of travel around Europe at the time. In a way I guess that's what I do. I try and teach it in a way that's relevant to busy people with busy lives.
Yeah, so you've touched on busy people, COVID, and also your experience with meditation. Generally think, do you think business owners actually look after themselves?
I think you do, Stu, no, to be honest, no. Like the serious answer is no. And the obvious reason for that is they're kind of looking after everyone but themselves, right? Like they've got employees to kind of, look after, and employees have families as well. So there's added responsibility. There's their own family, and there's all the pressures around COVID as well, which is like working from home and juggling all these various commitments. So often they're not looking after themselves, and they're trying to kind of meet those commitments on a half-empty tank. I should say half full, right? Like we should be optimistic.
I'm positive. I'm not sure about if you're a positive person.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, let's also face it, right? I mean, when you're a business owner, particularly through COVID, you've had all these added things in there, right? Like there's unpaid debts. There's sometimes there's, pressures from landlords, those kinds of things, right? So, and also just, are we open? Are we not open? Right? Pure and simple. Yeah. So all of that mixed in with what are already a whole heap of pressures just mean that they don't generally look after themselves. Interesting study, which I'm happy to share with you, available in Journal of Effective Studies, and it's a bit of research done by Monash University. So appropriately, it focuses on Melburnians and the
Sounds
experience.
riveting.
It's as riveting as an Excel spreadsheet, Stu, so you're going to love it. Right. But, no, it actually is, because what's really crucial and revealing in that is it shows that through COVID, there was, like, Melburnians suffered worse than others. There was 44% incidence of depression compared to 32% in the rest of the population, 34% anxiety compared to about 23% elsewhere, and just increased irritability, right? Like really high levels of irritability because nothing's normal. And so like you don't have stuff kind of, I don't know, just things that just you can take for granted and kind of happily, navigate your way through those things. So that kind of makes you more frustrated, more irritable. And there's what's problematic as well is they're saying that the research shows that even when you ease up, even when restrictions ease, that, motivation and optimism doesn't necessarily come back. that it's taken a battering, and like there's new challenges now, challenges around how to socialize again, right? And so, yeah, people are kind of reporting this kind of sensation, heavily coined these days, which is languishing and just lacking motivation. And the research suggests that, easing of restrictions doesn't actually help that.
Yeah. So you sort of touched on, as a business owner, that stress levels obviously have gone up. You've got a study to sort of supply that. What I found and what you sort of teach in terms of meditation has helped out my personal levels of stress. Why do you think meditation is important to sort of do that?
Well, let's put it this way, right? You know me, you know that I can get a bit geeky on the science, but let's keep it nice and simple.
I'll try not to fall asleep.
Which is, well, I'm trying to avoid that, right? Hence the kind of, I'm not going to go geeky on you. So we haven't had holidays, right? So we haven't had holidays. We haven't had weekends. Business owners anyway don't have a clear demarcation between work and play, regardless, right? So in other words, you've just been going full pelt with increased pressures for 18 months without any real release valve. And so, I guess here's the thing, because of all those increased pressures, your mind is pummeled by all these thoughts about, okay, like, what about the various doomsday scenarios, and how am I going to pull through all these added challenges? So it's pretty clear that what you do need is you need a release valve, right? Because in the end, it's all about, if your head is pummeled with all these thoughts about, God, how am I going to deal with this? Then it actually doesn't have the clear headspace with which to deal with the real problem, right? Like, well, and it's not necessarily a problem, but the real challenge, how to actually solve these things. Instead, you've got all these frets and angsts. If frets is a word, right? But you're fretting, let's say. You're fretting about, like, is Dan Andrews going to come out in his North Face jacket today, or is it going to be the blazer, and what does that mean? And I've heard the numbers are on the rise and all this other stuff. So the point is, if your head's turning that rubbish over, then it doesn't actually have the clear headspace with which to tackle the really important stuff. And what meditation does, and the technique that I teach, is provides you 20 minutes during which you stop thinking for large parts of the 20 minutes. So it's different from other techniques because you'll actually stop thinking. And the analogy is this: it's like, normally, and the research shows this, humans have about 6,000 thoughts every day on average, and 90 to 95% of them are recycled from yesterday. It's the same thoughts over and over. If you stop that cycle, right? It's like stopping the wheel. Let's say the washing machine or something, right? If you stop that cycle and you remove the rubbish for 20 minutes, right? So that you're no longer just recycling that. At the end of the 20 minutes, you come back and there's more clarity. You actually have rested your cognitive resources and you're able to kind of fully engage in the really important thoughts. You're not recycling the rubbish. You're just focusing on those that are kind of going to give you added value.
So it's just like turning the computer off and on again, like the IT professional tells you to do when you've got computer problems. It always generally works better. Yeah,
that's right. It's all about kind of like, if it's a really good analogy, actually, because a lot of people will keep their computer just hibernating overnight, right? And in a way, that's kind of what you do with your mind, because you're turning thoughts over and over again. But as we know with a computer, if you stop the thing, let it kind of, let the central processing unit and all of these other things chill, then when you do, charge the thing up again, it's actually going to function better, more optimally. Same idea. It's a good analogy. I might use that, Stu.
I compared myself to a computer, so I'm happy with that.
Indeed.
I know I've used your meditation techniques and it has worked for me, and it's done exactly what you sort of talked about previously. And as a business owner myself, yes, the stress levels have gone up in the last 18 months. So it has really worked for me. So thank you so much, Neo, to coming along and presenting such great information at a really good topical time for business owners out there. If you've got any questions for Neo, his contact details are behind him, but also we will have a slide at the end of his presentation.
I need to duck.
So if you've got any questions for Neo, his contact details are at the end of this slide, and he's happy to sort of talk you through some options as well. It is really, and probably the main point of this presentation is stressing to business owners, look after yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. But thank you so much, Neo.
Thanks a lot, Stu. Pleasure chatting again. Thanks a lot.
Bye. I know I've used your meditation techniques and it has worked for me, and it's done exactly what you sort of talked about previously. And as a business owner myself, yes, the stress levels have gone up in the last 18 months. So it has really worked for me. So thank you so much, Neo, to coming along and presenting such great information at a really good topical time for business owners out there. If you've got any questions for Neo, his contact details are behind him, but also we will have a slide at the end of his presentation.
I need to duck.
So if you've got any questions for Neo, his contact details are at the end of this slide, and he's happy to sort of talk you through some options as well. It is really, and probably the main point of this presentation is stressing to business owners, look after yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. But thank you so much, Neo.
Thanks a lot, Stu. Pleasure chatting again. Thanks a lot.
Bye.